Hello, and welcome to my channel, Berryjuicysweet Dishes. And if this is your first time, please hit that like button and also that bell right beside. And to all my returning viewers, welcome back. And to everyone, all positive vibes. Well, today I will be making some glazed strawberry biscuits. Let me show you how. Let's begin. So I'm going to take one stick of butter and then I'm going to cut this into pieces and I'm going to place this in the freezer for about an hour while I prepare my other ingredients. I'm going to take about 3 ounces of some fresh strawberries and I'm just going to cut them in half. I'm going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Next, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Next, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of sugar. I'm going to use the stevia sugar. You can use any sweetener of your preference. I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Next, I'm going to mix in 1 cup of milk, and you can use any kind of milk product, whole milk, 1% milk, skim milk. You can use any kind of milk of your preference. I'm going to go ahead and add in those 3 ounces of chopped strawberries. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold in that stick of butter that I placed in the freezer for an hour and cut into pieces. And now I'm going to fold this in. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly flour my surface. So then I'm going to take my dough and I'm going to put my dough on that lightly floured surface before we knead it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'm going to get my baking pan ready. I'm going to line my baking pan up with some parchment paper. And then I want to gently roll this out. And then I want to take, you can use a cup if you don't have a biscuit cutter. You can use a top to a jar, any kind of circular pattern. And you want to cut it in a pattern so that your biscuits will be evenly cooked and rise to the occasion. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut this entire piece, and then we're going to layer the cookie sheet with our biscuits. And then when you get to the part where you just keep kneading until you used all the dough. And if your dough is a little gummy, that's fine. Just add a little bit more flour to the surface and then it will unstick itself. So what I'm going to do is roll it out gently. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our baking pan lined with parchment paper. So we're going to go ahead and line our biscuits up. So once I've lined my biscuits up on my baking pan on the parchment paper, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven, and I'm going to bake this for 7 to 12 minutes until it's golden brown. So the butter from the bottom of the biscuit is beginning to melt. All I'm going to do is just take it and rub it across the top of my biscuit. This is about 5 minutes after baking. Okay, our biscuits are ready. We're going to let that cool before we begin to make the glaze and put the icing on it. So I'm going to use about 1 cup of powdered sugar. Next, I'm going to use about 1/8 cup of water. I'm going to also add about 1 teaspoon of the vanilla extract. Next, I'm going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice. You can use a freshly squeezed lemon, or you can use the lemon juice. So now I'm going to mix this all together. So I'm mixing everything up well. Until it's well blended. All right, we're going to take this and set it to the side. While my biscuits are still warm, I'm going to melt about 1 tablespoon of butter in the microwave and brush it over these warm biscuits. This is also optional because during our cooking process, the butter that we did place in our dough did melt to the bottom of the pan. So we did use that to brush across the top. But if you wanted that extra buttery flavor, you can add this butter on the top. So now we're going to go ahead and glaze our biscuits. Delicious. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Don't forget to hit that like button and also share the video. Again, everyone, thank you for tuning in to my channel, Berry Juicy Sweet Dishes. Well, bye for now.